Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sean Mathis, and I know that it's going to take you a couple minutes here to log on. If you have been watching and you haven't seen anything, just refresh your screen and you'll see everything. So I know that while we're letting people log on, I'll kind of give you guys a rundown of what it is that we're trying to accomplish today, what we're doing, why we're doing it, so that there's a little bit of method to the madness here. It's been about 6 months since I've had one of these webinars where I actually bring clients to the forefront to share their experience about the program, share where their agency was and where they're at today, and what difference it's made and how they've changed the way in which they approach the marketplace and how they're handling their marketing in order to generate new leads. In this environment that's ever changing with the internet and social media, staying on top of your game is going to be critical in moving to the forefront and doing things a little bit differently, in fact a lot of it differently, than the old ways of running your agency and the way that you market are going to be crucial to your success. And the guys that I have on today have done an excellent job of implementing the program, taking action, and then taking that and putting their own spin and their own personality to it and helping it fit their agency's objectives. And they've really come a long way, so I wanted to share that with you guys, and I want them to be able to share with you guys some of the things that they're doing in order to better your agency and take your marketing to the next level, get some tips from them and some insider's perspective. Rather than just hearing me tell you what you should be doing, you can hear it from these guys who are actually in the trenches, who are just like you and maybe even in the same market as you, and you know, kind of their experience and how they taking their perspective and how it might be able to help you. So that being said, let me first tell you what the Agency Alliance is, who we are, what we're all about for those of you that are new. I know we've got some people who are just hearing about me for the first time and like, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? Why is he on this webinar? Why does he think I want to hear him? What is this program all about? You may have never been to my website. If you haven't, it's right here on this little banner thing right there, sellingwithsean.com. There's a link there that's got a 60-day endless referral program. That is our #1 program that we have. We've got probably a half dozen programs now for folks to join. Everything from sellingatsocialfunctions.com to talk about networking, to our one-call close system that talks about the sales process, to our 30-day fast start for brand new agents or team members. We've got the live mastermind, the endless referrals. We've got our endless ultimate lead generation program. So we've got a ton of options for folks, regardless of what your budget is or what your commitment level is, whether you're brand new or whether you've been in the business 10 years with, you know, $20 million in premium on the books. We've got something for everybody. So, but you can take a look at that website there and take a look at that program and kind of see what we do from that perspective. A little background on myself. I actually was a real estate agent, put myself through college through real estate, and from there I went into the insurance world. And at first I thought, you know, I'm already a business owner, I'm doing my own thing as a real estate agent, I'm not going to work for anybody. So I decided I was going to be an agent, went through the Farmers Reserve program for a little bit, hit the brakes and realized, man, there is a lot to learn in this industry. So for folks who go from one industry and bounce right into agency, kudos to you, man, because what a transition that is. And if you're in that boat, I know exactly where you're at because I saw it. I saw the writing on the wall and was like, this is going to be a really long, tough journey for me. And so what I realized was that I needed to step back, and I thought there might be some method to the madness of going a team member route and learning the industry, learning how to sell insurance, learning what it's all about, and then from there going into agencies. So that was the route I took. I ended up hitting the brakes. I became a team member at State Farm, did that for a little over 2 years, and then ultimately ended up going to Liberty Mutual to start my own book of business. And I was there at my rookie year. I was Rookie of the Year of all the new agents hired. I think there was some 1,800 new agents that year hired, and I was the Rookie of the Year. And I think I attribute a lot of my success to what I teach agents today, which is the art of social media, the art of leverage and technology and referral-based business. And I really went about things completely differently than anybody else. Obviously, I mean, the results spoke for themselves. I did over $1 million in new business premium. We didn't count items. I couldn't tell you how many items it was. I did over 800 policies. You know, one of our auto policies could hold up to 5 cars. So I can't tell you how many items. It was a lot though, a lot of items. And so I stayed in the top 5 for my first 3 years and realized that there was a need in the industry for change in the way we market. You know, the trainings that they're teaching folks today are the same things that they taught agents 10 and 12 years ago. We're still teaching agents to door knock, to send mailers, to run billboards, purchase leads. I'm hearing a lot of folks right now that have come through recently in the past couple of weeks talking about live transfers, you know, paying $15 to $20 per transfer, hiring dialers, all these things. We've done this for decades, guys. We've run agencies the same way for decades. The truth is, though, that the marketplace has changed, and the way that we market has changed. The way that consumers respond to marketing has changed. With social media and the internet, everything around us has changed, but as an industry, we haven't yet evolved to say, you know what, I think we need to adopt some new methods. I think we need to get rid of the mailers. I think we need to stop buying these internet leads and playing this price chase game, right? So that was really the approach that I took, and I now teach that in my various programs. And I've got a couple agents here today who I'm excited to bring to you guys to share their results. I get asked every single day, can I talk to some agents who have been through your program? Well, guys, we've had over 400 agents come through our program, and unfortunately, I can't be a Rolodex to my clients. They're extremely busy. In fact, one of the guys that was supposed to be on today is busy. He couldn't make it. These aren't paid endorsements. I'm not paying these guys to be here, so obviously he had to take care of business, and that's totally okay with me. But it's bad enough whenever they just being a testimonial on one of my websites or something like that. These guys take 5-10 calls a day from people who are looking to verify what we have. So I feel like doing these live sessions and these showcases will let you hear firsthand from folks who have been through the program if you had questions or wanted to see agents who are just like you, kind of what their mindset was and what it took for them to really step outside the box, and then what a difference that has made for them. And then for those who might be in the mortgage or real estate world, the difference it makes of partnering with one of our agents, somebody who's been through the Agency Alliance program, who understands bringing value to the marketplace and what that really means, and how they're really out there different than every other agent in your market. And so I think when you hear their mindset and hear what they're doing for their referral partners based on the training that they've gone through and spend thousands of dollars and weeks and hours training to understand social media, understand internet marketing, and understand how to generate leads, they can then take those principles and practices and apply those to your business and be so much more valuable than that agent who's running around coming with boxes of donuts and rate sheets, or who will take you to the golf course once a month for you to hand them referrals. These guys are actually truly vested in your success, and I think that's what really makes the difference in somebody who's been through our program versus your traditional insurance agent. So I encourage you to hang on and listen to what these guys are doing, and by all means, if you're in their area, you need to connect with them, because they're going to bring some real value to your business and really help you take things to the next level. So that being said, I want to talk to you quickly about social media and why it's so important, guys. You know, I think it was 48% to 52% of consumers indicated that their most recent transaction in the services industry, real estate, mortgage, insurance, were done from referrals that were given on social media. So think of social media as word of mouth on steroids, right? It's no different. I know a lot of you guys tell me that you like word of mouth and you operate on referrals, and you might have been in the business for 18 years, so you don't have to do a lot of marketing anymore. Calls just come in from all your customers, and hey, fantastic, that's awesome. But what if you could take that word of mouth business and you could expand it 10 times, 20 times, right? Because my message, when I put a message out, I've got over 5,000 friends and close to 1,000 followers. So my reach is like 6,000 people, right? And then if I can say, hey, I recommend so-and-so for insurance, think of how many more people can hear that message and see that message versus me being at a cocktail party or maybe at dinner with 4 or 5 people around me and say, hey, you know, Robert Bosak is an awesome farmer's agent here in California. You guys really ought to check him out. That's fantastic if 4 or 5 people hear it, but what if 4 or 5,000 people hear that message? So what we can do with social media is we have the unique opportunity to take that word of mouth advertising and 10 or 20x that, right? We can build top of mind awareness with our entire connection sphere, whether it be on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever that reach is. And you can become top of mind by simply continuing to put value-added content, continuing to stay in front of your audience, but understanding how to use social media and position yourself tactfully and professionally while inviting engagement to your page is really the cornerstone of how to utilize social media and how to increase your following and get your reach to stay engaged with you, get your fans to recommend you, and every time they hear the word insurance, they can't help but think of Robert Bosack or Jay DiPolo, the guys that are on the webinar today. They can't help but think of that because these guys are ever present. So we're all okay, and we've conceptualized and understood the concept of sending mailers out consistently, right? You have to consistently send out mailers. Well, that's expensive, right? If you think about 10,000 mailers at 64 cents a piece, you're talking about a $640 campaign, and you do that 10 times, that gets really expensive, right? Well, you can hit that same 10,000 person audience 10 times with no postage on social media, right? We have the ability to use video and get our posts and our video message viral. I was looking at my YouTube stats yesterday, and I think I had 32,000 minutes watched on my YouTube channel in the last 28 days. All of those videos are an opportunity for me to give my prospects an idea and understanding of who Sean Mathis is, what our companies are about, what our programs are about, what my mindset's like, what I believe in. Get to know me, like me, and trust me via video, and then people will pick up the phone, go to one of my websites, or call me or email me and say, hey, I watched your videos, I've been following your blog for months, I've been following your Facebook page for months, I want to see how you can help me and my agency. These are the types of things that happen when you consistently put out content. Now think of how long it would take me to get 32,000 minutes of sales calls hammered out. I'm not good with math, but that's a lot. I know that there was over 8,000 or 9,000 views in that 28-day period. That's 9,000 sales calls, essentially. That's a lot of sales calls made in 28 days. I don't know that any of us have the time to do that, nor do we have the staff to hire to do that either. So if you think of being able to create a message, create a marketing message or a marketing funnel that you can put out on social media, you can put out on the internet, that's ever present, that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You've got your sales calls and your marketing messages going, and people are coming to you, and they have the opportunity to get to know you, and then pick up the phone and call you without you ever having to pick up the phone. In the past 30 hours, me and my team have set over 30 appointments without picking up the phone. Not one time have we picked up the phone to set those appointments, because we have leveraged technology and systems and processes in order to put people from marketing message to lead to appointment without ever picking up the phone. And these are the same exact processes that we teach our clients whenever we're generating leads. Why pick up the phone and cold call people? Why purchase leads when you can have them coming to you, and you can let your marketing message do what it's supposed to do, let your funnel do what it's supposed to do, cultivate those leads, and then ultimately the customer is going to raise their hand and say, hey, look, I'm interested in talking to you. Right? Too many times we spend time on the phone chasing suspects rather than talking to prospects. And the difference between the suspect and the prospect is we suspect that somebody might be interested. We suspect that that internet lead might actually be interested in insurance instead of winning a free iPad. Right? We suspect that if we cold call enough people, somebody's going to listen to what we have to say. Somebody's going to want an auto insurance quote. We suspect if we go and knock down enough doors, somebody's going to listen to us. Whereas a prospect is somebody who said, hey, I'm interested. Now that I'm on the phone with them, I know that I have a legitimate opportunity to do business with this person. That's talking with a prospect versus a suspect. And you need to be spending 90% of your time on the phone with prospects, people who have identified themselves as being interested in buying your products or services. Right? It's too hard to find that needle in the haystack. And it's too expensive and costly to use man hours to do so, especially when we've got technology and we can leverage technology for literally fractions of a cent. We're talking about being able to generate leads for under $1 in some cases, exclusive leads for under $1, and people set an appointment to talk with you or your staff. There's no reason to be spending $15 or $20 for an appointment setter to set an appointment for you, because you can do it all day long without using those people, without paying them for the lead, just leveraging technology and understanding how to do that. So there on this page you'll see a little Instagram guide. For those of you who aren't using Instagram, click on that form, just put your name and email so I can send you my free Instagram guide on how to run ads on Instagram, and give you just a little step-by-step on what Instagram is all about and how you can get started using it if you aren't using it, guys. It's a really powerful tool, and I think it's really the next big wave for us. A lot of real estate agents and mortgage professionals are already there, and I think the insurance agents who can start moving that direction here in the next 12 to 18 months, you get a head start. That's going to be the new player in running ads. Twitter is making a lot of changes as well, so you definitely need to be on Twitter, because I think they're changing their game up. They've been in the lab for about the last 2.5 years trying to compete with Facebook, because Facebook is really taking over the game there, and you really can't throw out Google Plus either. So I think you need to start building a presence on every one of your social networks, because you never know where that next deal is going to come from, and each and every one of those platforms have a very unique way in which you can market yourself and also find referral sources for your business. Being able to leverage all of those allows you to also have more knowledge that you can bring to the table for those that you want to partner with and work with. So one of the things that we teach here at the Agency Alliance is to stop going around begging for referrals and start taking the information that we're teaching you, start learning social media, because the top 10% of real estate agents are spending thousands of dollars a year on technology and social media marketing. It is the hot topic in your #1 referral sources, which is real estate agents and mortgage brokers. These guys are starving and chomping at the bit to learn how to market their business on social media. So the better that you can become at marketing yourself on social media, the more value you can bring in teaching others and referral partners how to do the same thing. And when you can start putting money in their pocket and you can start bringing leads to them and putting dollars in their bank account, that's when you become an indispensable part of their sales process, and not just a referral that, oh yeah, geez, gosh, I'm glad you stopped by today, Jay. I do have a guy for you to call. Meanwhile, you're missing out on people. So there's another strategy that every one of you guys can do today to start generating some business. And you have left business on the table. I promise 90% of you guys hearing this message have left business on the table by simply failing to tell people that you're there and what you do. You take for granted, and you think because somebody is a friend on your Facebook page that they know you sell insurance. The truth is that probably only 6% of the people who are on your page actually see your message because of the way that the algorithm works. Right? So if you have 1,000 friends and only 6% of us are seeing it, and then of those 6%, only 2% are probably even taking the time to like, comment, or share on your status. So the number of people who actually see or hear from you on social media is very small if you have not maximized what is called your EdgeRank score. So what you need to do is you need to go and you need to message every single person on your friends list, and you need to remind them that you're an insurance agent and that you would like to give them the opportunity to review their policy if they haven't done so. 75% of salespeople don't get the sale because they don't ask for the business. Don't be afraid to tell people, hey, I'm Sean Mathis. I sell insurance. I want to help you. If you haven't reviewed things in quite a while, things are changing. Rates are going up across almost every major carrier. Let's make sure that things are where they need to be for you and your family when it comes to insurance. It just takes a few minutes. Here's what we got to do to get started. And you will be surprised how much business is sitting right under your nose that you've been missing because you simply haven't asked. So I'm going to challenge you guys to go out and do that today if you do nothing else. At least stay on top of the people who are connected to you on LinkedIn and Facebook. So that being said, it looks like Isaac actually did show up here, so I'm glad that Isaac showed up. I know that he was busy, and we were definitely okay with you not being able to make it. But I want to introduce the guys that we have for you guys to talk to. We've got Robert Bosak from San Diego, California with Farmers Insurance. Robert opened in May of 2013, and he came into the industry prior to, he wasn't a team member or anything like that. He came in and he was handling litigation for a company as a sales representative. And since opening in May of 2013, I think we started maybe in, I think it was January we started working with Robert. I could be wrong. He can correct me on that. But it has really been awesome to watch Robert and his staff grow over the last 6 or 8 months that I've gotten to know him and watched him work. Robert was named Career Agent of the Year of 2014 in his area. He's won the Blue Vase Championship Award, Toppers Club. Those of you that are with farmers, you guys know what it takes to win these awards. These are the best of the best agents that are winning these awards. He took second place in the Run to Daylight for his region, and just a host of other awards. And I'm really excited to have Robert on. Robert, if you're with me, if you could come on board here and say hello to the beautiful people.
All right. I don't know if you can see me there.
Yeah, I can see you and I can hear you, and I will take the spotlight off of my screen. Go ahead and say something here real quick, just to make sure.
Sure. Are you there?
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So, Robert, we bragged on you just a little bit. I don't know if you could hear everything that I was saying, but tell us a little bit about what you were doing before. Don't spend a whole lot of time there, but then why you chose farmers, moving, in your area, why you chose farmers, and what that journey has been like up to today.
Okay. Prior to getting into insurance, it wasn't actually even sales. It was just litigation prevention for the company. So I've had no sales experience for my entire life. So transitioning to some type of a sales job on there is completely different. Feels a lot better to go ahead and actually be in sales. And the reason I kind of chose farmers on there was just primarily because, in a sense, at the end of the day, I kind of own the book of business. I can go ahead and transfer it to a friend, family member, things like that when I go to retire, and kind of just build it up for our kids' future and things like that as well. It's a little bit less stringent on some of the compliance stuff, so it's a lot easier for me to go ahead and work with on there. And then, I think I've actually been working with you, I'll correct you, I think since October of last year. So it's a little bit longer than we actually thought on there, but since then it's we've actually been able to go ahead and kind of progress, and it was really good jump for us to go ahead and kind of join the program itself on there.
Awesome. So you've been working with us and gone through a couple different programs and worked with us in various facets since October. So I shorted you by about 4 months. But since then, I know that you've worked on bringing a lot of value to referral partners, and everybody comes to the program with a different objective. Some people want to really focus on life sales. Some people want to focus on homeowners. Some people want to focus on auto. Some people have affinities. Like I know Farmers and Liberty Mutual, they have a lot of affinity programs, and they want to really maximize on how to target into those affinity groups and really hone in where they're competitive there. And I know that one of the things that you and your staff have done, because you've got so many leads coming into your agency and so many referrals that you guys are really busy, so you've really decided to work on taking the strategies and working with referral sources and really ingraining yourself with other business partners in the community to leverage them as referral sources. So for folks who are on kind of wondering, well, what else can you do with the program other than generate leads for your insurance agency? Talk to us a little bit about the approach that you've taken and how you've utilized the program to solidify those relationships in the community with referral partners.
Sure. Well, I won't only go ahead and say the referral partners, but some of the businesses that we actually insure as well. We've done some stuff to go ahead and kind of help them actually promote their new businesses and things like that as well too. So as far as the referral partners that we've set up, we have a good amount of real estate agents and lenders that we work with. And I know when we first started actually going into real estate offices, dealerships, to go ahead and ask for referrals, I really felt like I had nothing to go ahead and offer them. I was sitting there, doing like a pizza for them or, some donuts and just wasting my money because at the end of the day, I still would get nothing from them. But when I can actually go in there and talk to them about it, talk about how to go ahead and actually, or that I'm there to go ahead and get them some additional sales or, get additional clients or additional homes, they're more interested in actually listening to me. They're more interested in, just sitting down for 5 minutes and going through things with me. And when I have 5 more minutes to go ahead and actually build a relationship with somebody, it's a lot easier for them to go ahead and just kind of say, okay, this is my go-to person. So now I have like one person that we work with. They send a good amount of business over to us, so we're always constantly sending them leads of new home buyers in the area, people that are looking to sell their home. And I know one time he sent us over a couple items on there, and we basically just turned on the funnel for him, and he ended up getting, I think it was like eight or nine leads within like an hour or two of people that were looking to go ahead and actually buy the home that he was listing. On top of it, somebody put in the cash offer on it for him, so it always helped out when you can go ahead and basically sell their home right then and there for them. But as far as the leads that we have set up for them, now it's like we actually have a good foundation to basically kind of give to them, that we're here for them as well. And I've come to realize that it's a lot more beneficial for us to go ahead and help people grow their business, and they're going to go ahead and help us grow their business back. So it worked out, basically with equal partnerships on everything.
Right, and the great thing with the way that you've strategized and the way that you've taken the information that you've learned and the strategies that you've learned in our programs and be able to implement that for other folks is that it allows you to be able to manage more relationships. And this is one of the things that I was really good about whenever I was selling insurance, was being able to manage dozens of relationships and do it confidently. A lot of times if we get into that tit for tat, hey, send me your referrals, and whenever my clients are looking to, purchase a home, I'll make sure that I send them to you, or when they want to refinance. The truth is that we just really, as insurance agents, we're on the tail end of that deal. We just don't hear about people. I mean, people don't typically call us and say, hey, Robert, I'm thinking about refinancing my house. Could you point me in the right direction? It just doesn't really happen. I mean, people go to CPAs, they go to their financial advisors, they might go to their attorneys for that type of stuff, but I mean, some of you guys on here might be the exception of the rule, and you might be the go-to for all of your top clients. And if that's the case, fantastic, kudos to you. But 99% of you, that's not the case. You're not going to hear about it until it's time to get the policy put on the thing. So there's just so much that there's only so much you can manage that way. However, if you have the ability to set up funnels and generate leads for individuals, and I can say, here, for Robert, I've got this for you. For Tom, I've got this for you. For Jay, I can set up this for you. I can manage dozens of relationships and make sure that everybody is getting their fair share of leads and whatnot for their business to help them grow based on their goals and their objectives. And I can confidently sit down at a meeting, say, with a broker who manages 150 to 200 real estate agents, or maybe a manager of a loan officer branch that has 10 LOs and they're doing 50 transactions a month. I can sit down and confidently say, look, I can help your entire branch grow. I can help every single one of these lenders grow their business based on the objectives that they're looking for. If this guy wants refinances, I can help him get refinance leads. If this guy wants to work with investors and do 203K loans, I can help him with that too. This guy wants to set up campaigns for his real estate agents, hey, I can help him with that too. It's unlimited with the possibilities that you have when you understand how to leverage these systems. And I think that Robert's done a really good job of that. And that was really the route that I took in my agency, was rather than just bombarding my staff with leads, I can make sure that everybody's busy, but then I can work with these relationships and I can parlay the leads that I'm able to generate. I can generate leads for them and parlay those into referrals. Say, hey, look, I'm going to do this for you guys, and I want to be your go-to guy. And so then I can parlay those leads into 80 and 90% converting referrals. And I think that's sort of the route that you take. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we've kind of just pause like the lead incoming leads for ourselves, and we kind of just focus on doing them for them directly, just because we've been getting a good amount of volume just from that. And I know when we did turn on the leads, we were struggling to go ahead and keep up with the amount that we would actually receive, which in a sense is a good thing, but it's hard to go ahead and get to 60, 70 people a week when I only have one or two people in the office that can go ahead and quote business, and one of them is primarily commercial. So it's hard for me to go ahead and keep up with the amount of leads that we could actually generate. So I found it's better to only go ahead and kind of manage what we actually get from our referral partners, to go ahead and just keep those ones intact right now, and then also generate ours when we want to, like on the weekends or things like that.
Awesome. Hey, man, I really appreciate your time, and if you guys are in the San Diego area, if you are a real estate agent or a loan officer or an attorney or a CPA or financial advisor or any small business owner, and you want to partner with somebody that's in your area who's a local expert, Robert is definitely your guy that you need to go to. You need to look him up, send him a request, and this guy is up to some big things, and I look forward to watching you continue to grow, Robert. It's been awesome working with you. And
Thanks.
If there was one piece of advice that you could give a new agent on this call, I get messages every single day. What do you think I should do? What is the number one piece of advice you could give a new agent? I'm trying to get things started. I don't have a lot of cash. What's something that I could do? What's a piece of advice that you could give new agents who are here with farmers specifically and trying to get their business off the ground?
If they were from new ones on there, I'd probably go ahead and say just turn off everything that's not working, because this is something that works. And ultimately, yeah, it's a little bit more than what you think that you're going to be paying, but the return on investment is amazing with what you're actually going to get. And the fact that you can go ahead and utilize it not only in your business, but setting it up for your referral partners, and then if you do commercial business, set it up for the commercial businesses that you're actually writing for as well. Because now I have commercial companies that will never end up leaving me because we help market them as well. And it's an awesome thing to go ahead and actually feel that stickiness of the policies too, where I don't have to go ahead and worry so much about stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, that's a good piece of advice. If it's not working, stop wasting money on it. I can't tell you how many agents I talk to on a daily basis who are telling me that they're doing X, Y, and Z marketing, and I say, well, what's working well for you? And they're like, none of it. Okay, well, why are you spending $2,000 a month on nothing that's working? You got to stop the madness. If something's not working, stop doing it. Just stop. Find something else. Try something else. Maybe our program isn't the fit for you, and that's fantastic too. We're bombarded with applications, and we will be A-OK in the absence of you trying us. But what I want to do is I want to help agents. So if you don't like me, or you don't like my trainers or my sales staff, and you don't think we're a good fit, join our free group on Facebook. Send me a friend request. Look me up, Sean Mathis. It's facebook.com/Sean J. Mathis. Send me a friend request and ask to join our private group. We've got a secret group with over 800 agents from all different carriers and independent across the country, and these guys share ideas. And I happen to facilitate the group, but these guys share ideas on marketing and things that they're having good success with, that they're not having good success with, and it's a great resource. I know that all three of these guys are in that group as well. So if nothing else, at least partner up with other folks and mastermind with other agents, and get with those who are successful, and don't try and recreate the wheel, but follow these new innovators in their industry. Stop trying the same old things that aren't working to try to generate new results, because it just doesn't work that well. So again, I appreciate you, Robert. Moving on to Jay. Jay DiPolo is an Allstate agent. And prior to opening his doors in 2011, early 2012, Jay was selling real estate. So he had the same path I did. He spent 8 years in the real estate industry with RE/MAX, and has now opened his doors and running an Allstate agency. And it has been awesome to watch Jay and his staff grow, and seeing him really take action. The whole 80-20 rule applies in this program just like it does everywhere else. About 20% of the agents will take action and really get after it, and about 80% of them will kind of sit on the sidelines, and it'll take 6 or 7 months before they finally say, I'm going to try this thing that I paid Sean really good money for to teach me how to do, and I actually go and put it in place. With Jay was one of those folks who took action right away, and it's been awesome to watch Jay. And he came out to Dallas to one of our retreats, and I got to meet him personally. There's very few of my clients that I actually get to meet in person and work with on a one-on-one basis, and Jay was one of those guys. So it was really good to go through that and have that experience with you, Jay. You've got a different perspective because you have worked in the real estate industry. So if you are with us, if you would just hop on real quick and say hello.
Hello.
There he is. Jay, it was also recently announced that you are headed to Puerto Rico for a life and auto contest that you met the requirements for. So congrats on that, man.
Yeah.
Trips are awesome. I think the real estate or the insurance industry is king of probably the best trip incentives across all industries. I know that with Liberty, I went to an all expense paid to the Bahamas for a week, and it was an amazing trip that I'll never forget. And I went to a couple different other trips here locally, like little weekend getaways that I got. But they are king. The insurance industry is king of trips. I know State Farm folks that are on, you guys have your ambassador trip. Farmers has their circle of champions or winners or whatever. It's hard to keep up with everybody's awards, but congrats on that, man. Welcome, and definitely appreciate you taking some time with us. So tell us a little bit about your experience from transitioning from real estate into insurance, and why you decided to get into the insurance world and how things are going for you right now.
Well, Sean, I don't know if we ever talked about it before or not, but my father was actually an agent for 35 years, so I kind of had a background, growing up. I kind of grew up with the industry. I grew up on those trips. That was one of the things I'd always looked forward to as a kid. But he retired, and I ended up going into real estate. Was a RE/MAX agent for about 8 years, and had some success, but the roller coaster ride got a little stressful. So and I kind of just by chance fell into saw a newspaper ad for an Allstate agency hiring, and ended up purchasing an agency. Kind of went back to, I guess, my roots, because that's what I grew up on. And so here I am. One thing I can say is, I purchased an agency, so I thought, I'm going to have these residuals, and it's going to be a piece of cake, and we'll be making all this money. Nobody mentioned the payroll and the rental expense and all this other stuff, and then you throw in, okay, I need leads. So that's kind of how I came in your direction. Was that cost? I just didn't have the money to throw thousands and thousands of dollars at these leads that let's be honest, generally suck.
Yeah. So that was that was part of that scare that I had when I was talking earlier, whenever we started the show here, was realizing, oh my God, not only is there so much to know and learn about the insurance industry, but then there's this whole thing of running a real business. Like,
right.
Not that real estate agents don't run a real business, but when you're sole proprietor and it's just you, it's a whole different ball game than having staff. I mean, I'm doing that now, and it's tough when you have bills to pay and you've got staff and you've got marketing and you've got meetings with accountants and CPAs,
payroll taxes,
like you have to run the business, but then at the same time it's like, hey, not only do you have to run the business, but then you have to do these financial services meetings, and you have to run these client meetings, and you've got to sell, and you've got to make sure your staff is getting leads. It's a big deal, and I work with a lot of new agents like yourself who are coming in and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm just overwhelmed with everything that there is to starting up an agency, and then like you said, adding the stress of where am I going to get all these leads to support this business. It's definitely a stressful journey. So tell me what it was about the Agency Alliance particularly that interests you, and then how you've been able to take what you learned and sort of, like I said, you had some motivation that others in your class did not, and you took immediate action. So talk to us a little bit about why you looked into my direction, and then what out of the program you found to be most useful, and how you've implemented that to into your business?
Well, I say, Sean, even when I was with Remax, Facebook was big. It wasn't as big as it is now, but it was still pretty big. I knew there was something there. I didn't know the ins and outs of it. And I don't even think people were really advertising a whole lot on it back then, but I knew that there was something to this social media stuff. Then fast forward to I took over the Allstate agency, and I've got, I had a little bit of a presence. I had a Facebook page. I had a business page, just to put my name out there. But, you've got your sales leaders coming to you saying, like I said, my father, he was an agent for years, put an ad in the paper and get the phone book and make some phone calls. Well, nobody has a phone number in the phone book anymore, so that doesn't work. Nobody reads the newspaper, that doesn't work. And you've got your sales leaders saying, here, spend thousands and thousands of dollars, literally thousands of dollars, on leads or mailers. And so, I did the math, and I just didn't have the money. I mean, that's the flat-out truth of it. And I'll be honest with you, I think I saw, it had to have been a Facebook ad of yours that I saw. I said, what the hell, clicked on it, did a little research, talked to you, and I said, this is what I'm looking for. An inexpensive way to reach the people that I'm trying to reach directly, let them know what I'm doing, and not spend a crap ton of money doing it.
Right. So you've also taken sort of the path that Robert has, and being that you have so many connections and in the real estate niche, have been able to leverage that information and that knowledge to be that value-add resource to these guys, while they've probably been pounded on their doors, have been pounded down by their insurance agents of, hey, we've got fast turnaround time, we've got great service, we've been in the business 35 years, we've got great rates, and we've got replacement cost this and water endorsement that, and hey, by the way, here's a box of pizza for everybody, I'll take you golfing if you want to. But you've been able to come in and take a different approach and provide that value, and being able to probably talk to them on a level that even guys like Robert or Isaac aren't, and say, hey, look, I've been there. I know how important social media is. I can help you promote that open house. I can help you promote that listing. I can help you set up funnels to get those buyers that you're looking for your team members, so on and so forth. And that's sort of the route that you've taken as well. So, share a little bit about that and how that's worked out differently for you than prior to coming on board with us. And I'm sure you solicited those same relationships prior to coming to the Agency Alliance, but then being able to actually get some information and get some value to add, and then going back, what difference that's made for you.
Yeah. Let me give you a quick background on my market. I'm in a rural community in Ohio. Our town, 15,000 people, surrounded by some smaller farming communities. So we're not a big metropolitan area. So every insurance agent knows every insurance agent. Every realtor knows every realtor. We're a small town with relationships all over the place. So I kind of took a slightly different approach, and I said, okay, I can work with all these realtors, but then I'm going to start causing conflict because they all know each other. They all know I'm working with them, so they're going to go another direction. So what I did was I went after the big dog. There's one agent in town that kind of facilitates the majority of the business. I mean, he's averaging 25, 30 deals a month. Just got listed Wall Street Journal's top 250. So he's blowing away the competition. And I did the same thing prior to that. I said, here's some donuts. Here's some brochures. We're the best. We're the greatest. I can have turnaround time in a day. If you got a closing, I'll get it done in an hour, whatever. And he was already, just from where he's at, he was already a pretty ahead of the game as far as social media and Facebook and things like that. So for me to come to him on his level as far as the marketing, the guy's a marketing genius. I just didn't have it. I didn't have the game. I didn't have the info. Now we have lunch once a week, sometimes twice a week. We brainstorm, talking to him about setting up, inexpensive websites for each of his listings, doing some webinars, informational stuff, cheap and easy ways to get, your photos and your pictures and your virtual tours out on the internet that are inexpensive. These guys big realtors have spent thousands of dollars in their marketing, just in their equipment and their software to do these things. And I mean, me showing him how to do these things for 10, $15, he's loving it. And we just brainstorm. So I haven't quite got him locked in yet, and he's got a team of 5 buyers agents. But that's the next step. He just mentioned to me recently, let's sit down and let's talk to my buyers agents and let them know that you're the guy. These are the steps, using video and using forms that we've made off from the program to make it easy for them to facilitate one of their clients coming to me to purchase for what they need.
Well, that's awesome, and the thing to keep in mind there for those of you listening is you can see it's a process. It's Jay just finished the program, and he's actually in one of our other programs where he's continuing to hop on weekly calls, so he's still learning, still implementing, and to lock in a relationship like that takes time, but you have to have the tools and the resource to be on that person's level, to be able to talk with them and mastermind, and for them to say, yeah, I trust this guy. I think he can handle helping with us. I think he can partner with us and be part of our team. It takes time to build that trust, but you're never going to get that trust with a box of donuts and a replacement cost value policy. It's just not going to happen. So when that relationships, and I say when and emphasize when that relationship comes to fruition, because it will, and it sounds like it's very close to happening, that type of volume, 25 to 30 homes, that's households, guys. That's not leads. 25 to 30 households a month is a game changer. I mean, that will completely take your agency into a new direction. And I had that happen to me several different times. I remember a guy specifically at Keller Williams, the #1 producer at the #4 Keller Williams in the entire world. His name was Damon, and I worked with him. It took me months and months to solidify that relationship. But when I finally did, it was one of those deals where I was getting 5 to 10 deals a week from him, and these are households, and each household has house, couple cars, life insurance here and there. So that type of volume was a complete game changer, and made a huge impact in my bottom line. And we've had several agents who have come through our program. I know we've got a guy up in Twin Cities, Minnesota area, who locked down a real estate company with 150 real estate agents there. He now literally has an office inside of their office, and he is their go-to person, and it's literally changed his business with that one relationship. So sometimes, these big dogs take a while, but when it does, it all pays off, and it's something that comes in forever and ever, and you're not paying every single time they send you a lead. And that's the point of our program, is to break free of the aggregators, break free of these monthly recurring things that when you stop paying them, they stop sending you leads. You can take complete control over your marketing. So definitely appreciate your time, man, and congrats on your success. I want to switch gears to Isaac. Man, you were the face of a recent campaign that I ran. I think you may have saw it. Your phone is probably blown up. I apologize. I just put Isaac T so that people didn't find you and blow you up, but I'm sure they probably still found you anyway. I think one of your staff members commented on there, so it probably made it even easier to find you. So hopefully you don't kill me, and that's not why you're busy. But you are in California as well. If you are there still, if you would say hello to our viewers.
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Does your camera work?
Yeah, I'm getting it. Let me see. I got it. All right, got it.
There he is. How's everything going?
Everything's going good. No complaints
awesome.
right now.
What city are you in? Forgive me. I didn't have your bio because I thought you weren't joining us.
Yeah, I'm in Glendora, California. It's about 25 minutes outside of Los Angeles.
Awesome. So you're one of those guys. You came in it was April, wasn't it? Or was it February?
January.
Oh, January. Okay. So you're in our January class, and came out, was it January, February, ended somewhere first part of March. So just recently with the program. When did you open your doors with Allstate?
I opened last year in May, 2014.
Last May. So you're almost at that. No, you're just over a year.
Yeah.
I don't even know what freaking month it is anymore.
Yeah.
Forget what day is it. What month is this, people? I don't know. So just over a year. What did you do prior to hopping in with Allstate?
Well, I've been in the insurance industry for it's going on 9 years now, so about 8 years prior to that. I did work with Allstate agents prior that's how I started in insurance. And then I wasn't kind of getting where I wanted to go working for someone else, so I went switched gears with work for AAA in Southern California and sold insurance with them. And then I always kind of wanted to open up my own agency, so got everything ready, and I did that last year. So I've been in the industry for it's almost 9 years now total.
Awesome. So from May to hopping on board with us in January, and you did our Ultimate Lead Generation 2.0 Mastermind. Tell us about that first sort of 6-7 months and what that was like and getting everything set up. Did you start from scratch? Did you buy an agency? And tell us your initial approach and then what drew you to the Agency Alliance program.
Yeah, I actually did start from scratch. I didn't buy a book. I was looking to do that, and nothing really was too available for where I wanted, so I ended up going the scratch route. And it was difficult at first a little bit just because I've been in the industry for so long, but it's a whole different ball game when you're running your own show, when you have your own office, and you don't realize the responsibilities that are up to you. And Allstate's great, but I think it's the same with any company. Farmers and State Farm, I don't want to speak for them, but they only do so much to help you, and a lot of times they just don't really know so much. They can only help. They're limited. So the first 6 months, of course, I didn't want to do internet leads because I'm not a big fan of them, but I was kind of left with the last resort to kind of start doing internet leads now, and always trying to do referrals. And just like kind of Jay was saying, it just got very costly. So that's one of those things where the quality was low and the cost was high. I have an enhanced pay with Allstate because I'm a scratch agent. So it was sustaining me, but I didn't like the end game. I didn't like where the long-term results would be. So I've already previously invested in different marketing and kind of coaching plans and ideas with different groups, which return of investment results weren't as great with the other groups that I've joined, but opening my eyes to seeing how important it is to invest in yourself and to reach out when it comes to marketing and being coached, mentored, things of that. So that kind of led me to the program I kept seeing with the ad that you had, and then we made contact and we started in January.
Awesome. So since then, man, I never heard or saw from any of you guys actually prior to coming on board with the program. And a lot of times people that come on board, and that may be your case, I'm not sure, they follow for a few months beforehand. They're either personal friends on my Facebook, which I invited you guys to earlier, or follow on my fan page. But I don't see or hear your stuff in my timeline because of the way the EdgeRank system works. And you guys, the three of you guys, and you in particular, I see you every friggin' day. Like, you guys are just totally dominating social media and the timeline and have really taken massive action. So, talk to us a little bit about how, just from a personal page perspective and engagement perspective, what a difference understanding social media and how it works has made in terms of visibility for yourself. And I'm sure other people probably tell you the same thing. Like, I see you all the time on social media, and that's part of that building that top of mind awareness. Like, if somebody says, insurance in that's connected to you, I'm sure that they're probably like, man, I see that guy Isaac all the time on Facebook. So, talk to us a little bit about how that's made a difference and what you've seen happen with your various Facebook pages since taking action. I know that you use a lot of video and you take some really awesome photos. Even I was like, man, what app do you use for those photos? Those are awesome.
Yeah, well, definitely before the program, I wasn't a big believer in social media and even marketing with that. I just didn't like the idea of it, to be honest. So that's what delayed me, because I did see the ads for a while, but I just didn't jump into it. But and before that, before I opened up my office, my Facebook was disconnected for about 4 years. I didn't even have a Facebook. And then when I opened up my office, I just figured, it's good I opened up my Facebook, but I didn't know what to do with it. I maybe had 100 friends or people and even them, I never commented. I know some of my friends would say, hey, you still there? Because my last comment was 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess. So I didn't know how it worked, didn't understand it, I didn't like it. I was kind of one of those. Part of it probably been like, I don't. This is my personal thing. I don't want to get people like, I don't want to be that guy all on Facebook. That's how I thought about it. So, but learning the program and seeing how it works definitely changed my view. And I do get recognized. It's interesting. It's funny because there's a few other big insurance offices in the area, and I noticed that they'll kind of sneak in on my friends list here and there and following me, kind of looking at me, and I'll run into doing the marketing for lenders. I'll run into them, and they'll know those agents, and they say, "Oh yeah, so you're the new Allstate guy in the area. I've been hearing about you." I mean, it just kind of, the word of mouth is funny about that. But yeah, and it's definitely changed a lot. I don't see it as that anymore. My eyes are open as far as seeing it more of, hey, you can either pay partly for the ads, or it's like free advertising if you do it right too. It's a lot of free advertising. So that kind of throws the uncomfortableness for me out the window, and saying, oh, if you don't like getting in front of the camera or like doing certain posts on Facebook, would you pay, a fraction of the price to do a commercial? I'm sure most people would if you can do it for free or for cheap. So why not develop it yourself and build that on Facebook as much as you can? So that's kind of the way it changed for me. And my presence definitely, I notice it, the recognition is a lot more just around my area.
Awesome. So I noticed, one last thing before we let folks go because we're running out of time, but you had a really successful campaign that you ran with through social media without giving away your secrets. Tell us a little bit about the results so that people can see the real potential of understanding. You talked about what's going on with the organic side and how just opening up your Facebook page and on your personal page, getting all that engagement and people recognizing you and seeing you from that perspective, and that's without paying for anything. But you've also got into the paid advertising side. So I know that one of the funnels you said that in a month's time you did over 100 exclusive leads that came in through your funnel without being, like I said, because you might have folks right here in your market without giving your secret away.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us just about the results that came from that in terms of the number of leads, the number of people that saw it, and how much you actually spent on that on that funnel, and what your ROI was with just that one funnel that came through.
Okay, and so I'll kind of segue that to, I was still writing good business or a good amount of business before the program, but I was spending a lot of money doing it. I was probably sometimes, like Jay said, I was easily up to over $2,000, $2,500 a month in things like internet leads, mailers. So my actual written premium has increased, and I'm probably spending an average right now. I'm working on my budget to tone it down and always refurbishing it, about $500 to maybe $550 a month with the advertising I do, and it's I should have my numbers down probably more, but to go touch on that one campaign you're talking about, that's generated I believe 160 something leads so far, and on that one alone I spent about $800 I think total. So $800 to get roughly 160 leads, and they're not internet leads, they're exclusive leads, and out of the people, those 160, I would say we at least wrote close to over 20% of those that are actually in the books, and the ones we haven't wrote yet, they're not a lost cause, we're still working on them. So with the program, that's what it teaches you, and you're not fighting 5 companies for this. And if you don't get a hold of them in 2 seconds, they're not going to the next guy. So that's the beauty of it, and it's targeted towards the business I like, business that's not going to cancel, and without giving too much away, but that's definitely changed the game for me.
So in those 160 leads, those were households, not 160 items, right? Those were 160 households that came through. Awesome. So you look at that, and like you said, converting 20%, which is about twice what you're going to convert on a internet lead, but then also being able to have these folks that are not shoppers who aren't like, oh man, I didn't talk to this guy, I'm going to buy something today. Their value add conversation that he's going to have, and he's going to drip on them. None of these guys saw my ad or heard from me the first time and pulled the trigger. That just doesn't happen. If it did happen, it would be a price-driven thing. The truth is I could be wrong, and somebody on this thing, feel free to email me, Sean@sellingwithsean.com, if I'm wrong, but I believe that I am the most expensive in terms of this insurance space when it comes to programs and coaching. And I'm not a life coach. I don't like to say that I'm a mentor, because I believe that most of my clients are probably better people than I am. But I like to say that I'm a marketing guru, and I help you drive leads, and I help you understand how to market your business and how to generate leads, get your phone to ring, get your inbox full of people that want you. So don't think that this is some kind of a hoorah, Tony Robbins feel good. No offense to Tony. I'm sure Tony's a great guy, and he makes you feel nice and warm and fuzzy on your calls. That's not what we do here. What we do is we figure out how to generate campaigns that work, that produce results, that put money in your bank. That's what we're all about. So that being said, being the most expensive in the market is totally okay with me, and I hope that I can continue to remain in that place. And if I'm not, if somebody's more expensive than me, then please tell me who they are so I can check out what they're doing, and I can eventually be more expensive than them. That's what I want to do. And I know that a lot of my clients are not the cheapest in their area, and you struggle with that because you're focusing on people, and your marketing efforts and your sales process has been so focused on the price-driven consumer that you feel you have to be the most competitive, or also known as the cheapest guy on the block, in order to write business, and that's simply not the case. You can be the most expensive. You can be proud to be the most expensive, because when you have marketing campaigns in place that work, that are putting people in front of you who are looking for value add, because I promise you the marketplace is full of good business that's looking for value. As a busy business owner myself, I promise you I am not looking for the cheapest rate when it comes to insurance. I am not looking for the cheapest accountant. I am not looking for the cheapest attorney. I'm not looking for the real estate agent who will cut rate. What I'm looking for is somebody who can take that thing off my plate. I want my insurance agent to be watching over my policies, to know about my life, to know about my industry, to know what's going on with me, and can say, hey, Sean, I think we need to make a change. I know that you just bought this new Lotus, so that probably means you're making a little bit more money than you were before. Let's make sure that we've got everything in place, because I don't want something to happen and you not have enough coverage. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who I can put on my team. I want my insurance agent to be a person that I feel like is in my corner, in part of my organization, that can take the liability piece off my plate. I want my real estate agents to know what I'm after, what my goals are, and can take that piece off my plate, so I don't have to worry about it, so I can focus on my business, so I can be on this webinar with you guys right now and not worry about whether or not I'm covered for the hailstorm coming down the way, or whether or not my car has the coverage I need, or that I have the life insurance in place, or that I have the 529 in place. I trust my insurance agent to take care of that. And those are the people that you guys are after. And I promise you, guys like me aren't typing cheap insurance Dallas, Texas, let me find that agent, and going to NetQuote, going to Quote Wizard. So you wonder why that business is churning, is because it's bad business. You guys know it is, so stop doing it. The guy, I promise you, I will never respond to a postcard. It's not going to happen. Somebody's not going to give me a postcard and I'm going to say, I'm calling Isaac today to get some insurance. It's not going to happen. It's coming from a referral, right? So I want you guys to think about that. And before you waste another dollar on marketing, ask yourself this question. Would I respond to this piece of marketing? Would you respond to the mailer you're about to send out? If you wouldn't, don't send it. Because chances are, unless you're bad business and you don't want to write people like you, but I assume that most of you guys would like to do business with people who are like you. I know that's what I do. That's what we teach, attraction marketing. Your perfect client every single time. You can have a book filled with your perfect customer, but you got to know how to attract them, and you got to have systems in place that will find them. And these guys have done an excellent job. And if you are a potential partner, if you're a small business owner and you're looking for somebody you can have in your corner, one of these three guys, if they're in your area, are those types of people. If I was in Ohio, I promise you, Jay would be my dude, because I know that he can take that off my plate. He can be in my corner, and I can trust that he's going to take care of business for me. So what I want you guys to do is follow directions on an Instagram guide. If you want that free Instagram, follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/selling with Sean. Post a takeaway from this webinar, whether it be from one of the guys, whether it be from me, something that you learned from this webinar. Post that on my page, and I'm going to give you that free Instagram guide for your business. And that's something that you guys can download, and you can share that with potential referral partners or whomever that you want. I'm going to send it to you in a PDF so that you can download it and you can pass that along to folks. I want you to. That's what it's there for. We want you to be a resource. Follow these guys. Send them a friend request. Check them out on Facebook. See what they're doing. Connect with us on Facebook. Get plugged into our free Facebook group if you're not already in that. Like I said, we've got over 800 agents in there. It doesn't cost you a dime, and you can be in there with folks like Isaac and Robert and Jay and dozens of other clients and hundreds of others who haven't yet come through our program. And I say yet because I believe that we are putting together a massive movement, and those that take action and who get on board with us are going to take their agency in a different direction. And I promise you, the ways of doing business in 1990 and the early 2000s is gone. And if you're going to follow that method, you're going to struggle for a long time. The only way that you're really going to see exponential results is to get ahead of the curve and get ahead of the game and start bringing some value to your referral partners, start doing business a different way. Consumers like myself aren't looking for the 15 minutes, we'll save you 15 minutes or less. We're not looking for the cheapest rate on the block. And I promise you, when you start finding good business that's going to stick, you start writing commercial business like Robert talked about, you start partnering with the #1 guys in the real estate and mortgage world like Jay talked about, you start becoming that recognized face in the community like Isaac talked about. None of these guys have been in the business for years and years, but they're playing on a big level. And it's the same thing that I did. I was writing business in my second and third year up there with guys who had been in the business 15 years. Why does it take you 10 or 15 years to write $1 million in new business premium when a guy that's been in the business for 2 years can do it? It doesn't make sense to me. There's technology right here at our fingertips. You can be using it, and if you're not, then you're just delaying your success. And it's going to cost you more in the long run to continue down the same road of these archaic methods, to continue sending mailers, to continue banging out cold calls. It's not what you got in this business for. And if it is, then I don't know what to say for you, but that's insanity to me. I don't know why you would ever get into a business where your life is going to be based on chasing down price-driven consumers and banging out 50 cold calls every single day. What a beating that is, because this industry has so much more to offer you if you will just understand how to maximize the opportunity. Again, I appreciate all three of you guys for coming on board. I appreciate you guys for giving me your time, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you so much.